Hello, my name is Jonathan Wines. I'm a psychotherapist and I have a practice where I see a whole wide variety of different clients. One of the things that I've discovered, as well as using talking to explore different issues, is that teaching people to breathe in an effective way and in a very particular way can really help to support them. It's particularly useful with issues where there's anxiety or stress, or where the person's feeling under a lot of pressure. Once you've learnt this technique, you can use it at any time of day or night to help support yourself and to help calm yourself so that you can deal with your life more effectively. So this is a simple technique you can learn very quickly and that will help with your day-to-day life. So today what I would like to do is describe this technique, demonstrate it, and then show you how you can use this and how you can apply this in your life as a way to support yourself. So firstly, I would like to describe how you can use this. So for most of us, the way we breathe is that we breathe in the upper part of our lungs, and when we become stressed or anxious, we tend to inhibit our breathing, so we breathe less, we have less oxygen going to our brain, so we tend to think less clearly, and we tend to start to tighten up as we become more stressed. So there's a sense of tightness within our chest. So the aim of the breathing technique is to counter all of that, and you need to learn to do this when you're away from the stress situation so that you can then apply it into the stress situation. So the way in which we do this is to lower the centre of where we breathe from. So instead of breathing up here in our chest, which many people typically do, and some people breathe even more minimally, so they seem to sometimes be barely breathing at all, is to lower that centre down to our abdomen, down to our tummy, and to breathe from there. So I'm going to demonstrate to you how you can do this. So to start with, you need to put your hand on your tummy or your belly, taking a breath through your nose and allowing your tummy to expand against your hand as you breathe in. So here we go. Breathing in through the nose. So you should actively feel your tummy pushing against your hand. If I turn sideways on, maybe you can see more clearly as my stomach comes out. I'm exaggerating it slightly, but not very much. So then as I breathe out through my mouth, and I contract my tummy muscles. So let's try that again, breathing in, up into my chest, breathing out through my mouth, pushing in and contracting my tummy muscles. When I've reached the end of the breath, simply relaxing my tummy muscles and letting myself fill up again. So my tummy coming out, breathing up into my chest, through the nose, breathing out through my mouth, contracting my tummy. Okay, so let's just try that one more time. So breathing in, feeling the abdomen pushing against my hands, and then feeling the air rising up into your chest as you breathe in. Breathing out through your mouth. Light contraction, nothing should be feel too tight or squeezed, but just a light contraction as you push the air out. You end the breath with your tummy slightly tucked in, and then as you breathe in, just gently expanding, completely relaxing the stomach to fill up again. Breathing out. A few people struggle with getting this technique of breathing from here. So another way to think of it is to breathe and put your hands like this on the lower portion of your ribs, and as you breathe in, feel the air expanding your hands. So here we go. And you'll feel the air pushing against your hands. Breathing out through your mouth. And you can really feel your ribs dropping in as you expel the air. And then all the air is gone, filling up again. You can feel my ribs really expanding under my hands, out from my mouth. And really feel my ribs dropping down again. So that's two ways you can think about it. I tend to like this one, and I tend to think of it this way, but if the other way with your ribs helps you to get the sensation, that's great. Final thing you can try if you're struggling is to lie on the floor, put your knees up so your feet are tucked up more towards your buttocks, and then try doing the abdominal breathing and place your hands on your belly and breathe in and out, and feeling the rise of the abdomen and the fall. This is a very natural way to breathe. It's the way babies breathe, and it's also the way in which people who sing are taught to breathe. Somebody like Pavarotti would probably have used this technique to build his sound, to breathe from the abdomen, let your tummy swell out, and then compress as you breathe out. So that's the basic technique. And what I suggest to my clients, and I suggest to you, is that you try practicing this at home for 3 to 5 minutes a day. Lie on the floor, sit in a chair, wherever you are, be relaxed and comfortable, and just practice your deep, slow breathing. Now, while you do this, I would suggest that you add something else, which is like a little mantra or a little phrase that you say to yourself that's really going to kind of add some power to this breathing technique. And that phrase is, just slow down. If you think of yourself when you're under pressure or under stress of some sort, your natural inclination is for your body to adrenalize, got more adrenaline kicking around, your blood pressure is coming up, your heart rate's coming up, you're gearing up for fight or flight. And what you need to do is to be countering this both with the breathing, which is going to help slow your physiology down, because you're kind of tricking your brain that everything's fine, even if it isn't. So you add in this phrase, just slow down. So I'm just going to demonstrate how this works. So, breathing from the abdomen, breathing in through my nose, out through my mouth, just slow down. Just slow down. So as you're breathing out, you can be, obviously you don't need to vocalize it, but you can be saying this to yourself quietly. Now you don't need to say it on every breath you take, but I'd encourage you during the 3 to 5 minutes to say it a number of times, let's say 10 times or something like that, so that you really get used to associating your breathing technique with just slow down. When you're in a situation of stress or anxiety, it's going to really help you, because you observe most people in that stress situation, they're tightening up, they're speeding up, and you need to find a way to counter this. So for example, if I'm working with a client and they come in and they're going very fast, which some clients can come in, they're very anxious or angry or stressed about something, they're telling me a story at 100 miles an hour, my first reaction is to just start breathing more deeply to help ground myself and center myself, and ultimately I will probably encourage them to do the same, because there's no way that I can help work with their problem if I'm joining them in being speedy, and there's no way that they can resolve their problem if they're being that adrenalized and that speedy. Okay, so you need to put together the physical breathing technique with this little spoken phrase. So what I'm suggesting is that you practice this over a couple of weeks so that you get used to this way of breathing. It's not a way we normally breathe, because generally we're not conscious about our breathing. So it is also about becoming more conscious and mindful of the fact that we breathe. And we can use our breath to support us just the way we might take a sip of water if we're feeling hot or if we're feeling a bit dry, and that will help energize us by drinking the water. In the same way, using breathing, you can use that as a way to support yourself and ground yourself. So let's think now about how you apply this. So, having done a little practice at home, you've got used to this approach, got used to doing the breathing, you've got used to saying the phrase to yourself, associating that with the breathing technique. The next thing is to be becoming more conscious and reminding yourself to use it. So if you work at a PC and maybe you get difficult phone calls coming in, or you get people coming asking you questions which can sometimes stress you, I'd really encourage you to have a symbol on your PC in this early stage to remind you to breathe. So you might put a big B on a post-it note, nobody else need to know what that means if you don't want them to, or you could you could actually write the word breathe on your computer on a little post-it note, and that when something starts to happen and you are aware of the sort of graph of your anxiety or stress coming up, you can feel yourself tightening up or becoming stressed. First thing you've got to think is breathe. Second thing you've got to think is what? Slow down. So bringing these two things together and becoming mindful of when you need to use it. So if you're dealing with somebody who's getting quite stressed themselves, that you don't get sort of drawn into it. That if they're getting speedy and adrenalized, you can still stay nice and calm and slow. And then you can help manage yourself and maybe help them manage their stress as well. So there it is. There's the breathing, the physical side, there's the phrase, and then there's the application, which is the last bit we've just been talking about, introducing it into your life and using it. So whatever your issue may be as to why you've been watching this, whether it's stress or panic, all manner of things cause people to panic. One of the best things you can do at an early stage, as soon as you identify you're beginning to go into panic mode, is to start to breathe in this deep, slow way, adding in the notion of slowing down. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching this. I hope it proves useful to you, or if not to you, you can share it with somebody else as a way to help manage their stress and pass it on, which is a good thing to do. And I hope you've found it helpful to watch this today. And this is the first in a series of talks that I'm going to video about some basic psychological issues and how we can help support ourselves. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.